Regarding for our title, okay, biological health science. As I promised a while ago, we need to discuss one by one these biological terms in a cell biology structure. Okay, so how can we do that? Okay, first, welcome back. So this is our, okay, oh my gosh. Makita ninyo? Okay. So, definition number one. Okay. Definition number, nakaloka.
The video model. The Bluetooth device is ready to tell.
Hello, mga ka-birds. Cell is the smallest unit. The smallest functional or structural unit. Okay, structural unit of living organism. If you want to write that also on your blank sheet of paper for additional information, then you can do that also. Okay, living organisms, or shall we say, yes, organisms, because we'll be dealing with human being, right? Okay, living organisms. Actually, microorganisms also has its own cells, but we are just using the word organisms because we are also living organisms, we as human beings. Okay, the composed of, okay, of cytoplasm, wow, cytoplasm and nucleus. Okay, ganun siya, includes, okay, includes by a membrane. Okay, membrane. What's this membrane all about? It's just like an outer layer. Inner and outer layer is what as we call membrane. Something like that. Okay? For example, the liver, there's an outer layer, there's an inner layer, so that's basically composed of a membrane. And the cells will be there, something like that. Okay? Ano kakaloka? Hello guys? Ano siya ang cell? Cell is the smallest functional and structural unit of living organisms that composed of cytoplasm and nucleus enclosed by a membrane. Ganon. So in here, what terms we need to understand further? It's gonna be cytoplasm and nucleus. We are looking for a noun here. Nouns. Okay? So cytoplasm. Okay, cytoplasm. Okay. So what is a cytoplasm in biology? Okay, actually based on my research, cytoplasm really, guys, the protein synthesis of all prokaryotes. You know prokaryotes? Prokaryotic cells occurs in the cytoplasm. Not the same as the eukaryotes. You know, remember that one in biology? Okay, there are two types of cells, the prokaryotic cells or the prokaryotes and the eukaryotic cells or the eukaryotes. Ganon. Okay, later we'll be discussing it also because not most, all of us have that cells. Okay, but we are on the prokaryote cells, ha? Okay, ganon siya. So, no, sorry, eukaryotes. Okay, I remember the term pro and the term prefix to describe this eukaryote, ganon. Okay, so cytoplasm. Okay, is a fluid-like gel. So we need to say this is a fluid. Okay, inside a cell, something like that. Oh, what's happening there? Oh my gosh, it sounded right. Oh, let's check. There's a sound effect. Oh, nothing. Oh, okay, because it reacts. Oh my gosh. Thermal conductivity. Okay, there's a thermal conductivity exhibited by the spoon because I forgot to unplug you know, the socket from the top, from the outlet, something like that. So it sounded, diba? So it's just like also an experiment, actual experiment, right? Oh my gosh, right? Science. Okay, fluid-like gel, okay, that is used as a medium for chemical reaction. Wow. So very important, right? So it's there in here, the chemistry will be here. The lipids, the proteins, the fats, and the acids, because this is the medium, meaning a place or a region in which this takes place, the chemical reaction, and it's a function of the cytoplasm. And we need to take care of our cytoplasm inside our cell. Oh, diba? And this also, two functions, guys, be careful. So, this also acts as a platform. Okay, platform of the organelles to operate. Wow. To operate. Okay. The second function of a cytoplasm is not only limited to the chemical reaction, but also acts as a platform of the organelles to operate. So what are these organelles? So meaning, it's very clear that this is also a noun. And we'll do an action verb because to operate. So organelles, guys, basically these are specialized, you know, and organized living microorganisms or organisms. Okay, so platform siya ang cytoplasm. So it's a place where they belong. Something like, oh my gosh, really, right? Okay, so cytoplasm. Number three, sorry, we have the nucleus. Nucleus. That's why we have nucleotide as a raw materials in the production of nucleic acid that is used in our genetic coding or genetic information in our hereditary traits. Like that, genes, G-E-N-E-S, carries the hereditary trait of the genetic information. Okay, like that. Okay, so nucleus. So we have nucleic acid coming from the nucleus. Okay, nucleotides. So we have, so for example, we have DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, and the ribonucleic acid, RNA. Okay, we'll be discussing it later. Okay, so nucleus. Okay, this nucleus, guys, is a membrane. As I told you, membrane enclosure, right? Membrane, okay, membrane bound organelles, okay. So this is a membrane bound organelles, okay. This nucleus, you understand the point? Membrane bound organelles, this nucleus, and then this really involves in the center. Like a circle, something like that, okay? Mauna siya ang atong nucleus, membrane bound organelles. And then, kung may organelles, guys, di ba, specialized and organized living organisms, and these living organisms requirement to have this chromosomes, okay? So consists of chromosomes or cell chromosomes. Basically, chromosomes are occurring in the cells also. Or cell chromosomes. Or you remember now, chromosomes. Again, we'll study that now here, right? So I already explained cytoplasm, nucleus, membrane-bound organelles, plus it consists of cell of chromosomes and cytoplasm. I will discuss now the chromosomes. Okay, so chromosomes, guys, what you understand for this? So this is where our DNA will be considered through the identification of these chromosomes. That's why we need to stabilize our chromosomes inside our body, and then we need to build up that one through proper intake of protein foods in our body, because this protein really, through protein synthesis, it will help us to gain more of this chromosomes. What's the definition of chromosomes? By the way, okay? Before going to the technical aspects of these chromosomes, okay? Disclaimer, I am not a biologist. I am a licensed chemical engineer. Okay, I cannot really expand more my discussion. It's only just basic. Okay, I'm just combining biology and chemistry in biochemistry because we have also biochemical engineering subject as part of one of the subjects in Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering. Okay, disclaimer lang po, ha? Then you can object also, or you can say, sir, it's not like that if you're a biologist now or a graduate of biology, BS biology. Okay, 4 years, right? I think so. Okay. And this is also the requirement, the preparatory of all medicines, doctor in medicines. It would be best to take up BS biology first so that you can understand that this is study of life, right? Normally you treat patients and patients have life. And we need to save the life of those patients. And how can you treat the life of the patients if you are not studying the life or the bio part or the biology? Because we are also the animals. So it's better if you plan your children to become a doctor of medicine or physician. You love that there is a medical professional in your family, then push her or him to take up first BS biology. Okay? That will become more solid compared to pharmacy, BS pharmacy, BS medical technology. This biology really is the foundation of all the medical science course, specifically the Doctor of Medicine, MD. Okay? Like that. So this is very important, so that also we can understand the medical health science. We will go back to the biology. Okay? Or specifically the cell biology. Right? Okay? So chromosomes. Chromosomes, guys. So we are advised by the doctor to limit our protein level to something. For example, we have the protein called keratin. Okay, keratin, you know the function of a keratin. So this is a very, very important specific protein also in the regulation of our growth of our hair and growth of our nails. Something like that, and the stability and the flexibility of our skin structure in the epidermis. Something like that. I read this also in, again, Harvard University Public School of Health magazine. Okay, something, because I subscribed that a long time ago. Okay, something like that. Okay, it's gonna be like that. Okay, so protein is very, very essential, guys, to survive. Okay, we are advised to eat only, for example, if we have a protein like creatinine. Creatinine is a protein. Okay, so it doesn't mean that if you have too much of this creatinine, it can damage your kidney. Okay, then you don't have to eat protein. No, it's not like that. It's above the normal range, which is 5 milligrams per deciliter. Okay, but if it's in the range, it's okay because we need protein in order we can achieve more keratin also for the growth of our hair. That's why some of the 50 years old men, or let us say women, loses their hair when they grow old. The lack of keratin, because keratin is a protein that will regulate that one. And keratin is also a member and a component of the collagen. Since we know the collagen drop as we grow older, right? And some of our muscles and tissues will be weakened. And that we need supplements or food supplements really, if we have money, then if we are really fun and loving with natural activity of gaining that food supplements to increase our protein level, then you can do a lot of exercise or eating the right kind of food, especially citrus fruits and green leafy vegetables, something like that. Okay, so that you will never spend money. Okay, you do the activity to increase the level of protein. Though you also have to buy it, but not with the same as the food supplement because it is maintenance. Okay, but for the protein, it's not necessarily all the time like that as you wish, as you like, something like that. But these food supplements, if you stop it, your system will really crave for that. Okay, the immunity of your organ inside your body, if you stop it, the more your organ will ask for it. And what if you don't have job anymore in the future? For example, you are not working, you're 70 years old, 60 years old, and you are now in your country of origin. You cannot buy any more your maintenance medicines for that. good only if your children will give you money if they have work also in the future. What if they will never give you money because they have also their own families? Something like that. So be careful. Go for the natural process or way of increasing your protein levels and also vitamins levels or nutrients levels rather than maintenance costs just to make you healthy or to maintain your immune health system to be stronger. Get a point? Because there's a lot also that are not costly through natural processes. Okay, you got a point, something like that. Okay, going back to the chromosomes. Okay, this is really, thread. Thread, T-H-R-E. There are two homonym for this. Homonym? Really? Homonym, it sounds the same in English. Remember? No, this is not homonym. Rhyme. Okay, rhyme. Rhyme meaning it has the same sound. Okay, thread, like this. Okay, the same sound or rhyme. R-H-Y-M-E, because homonyms are terms that have the same spelling but different in meaning. Okay, that's homonyms. Antonyms, words or terms that opposite in meaning. And then synonyms are words and terms that have the same meaning in English grammar, something like that. Okay, but rhyme, terms and words that have the same sound during your enunciation in your tongue when you deliver the words coming out from your mouth. You get a point? Something like that. So thread and thread is just it's just a rhyme, and then the spelling is different because the thread is emphasizing the TH sound. TH. Like that. Thread. And the other thread don't have an H sound. So it has the same, not the same meaning. Okay, thread is akan bitong hilo sa Bisaya. Okay? Muna siya. Thread. TH.
Aux input motor.
Oh my gosh. So this chromosomes, guys, is a thread-like structure. So thread-like structure. Okay. Structure of, imagine, see, nucleic acid. Structure of nucleic acid, okay, and protein. Wow, and protein. That's why the baby will not born if you don't have enough chromosomes. Okay, because chromosomes need protein, right? In the production of the chromosomes. If you have less protein, then that can also make you unproductive. Okay? So, you have to eat proteinous food, rich in protein also, so that your reproductive sex organ will also be stronger, so that you can easily be productive and yield baby like that. Okay? So, this has something to do also with the reproductive organ, the chromosomes, something like that. So, it contains protein. Okay, see? So, meaning to say, those people that cannot yield children, okay, 60 years old na, nagkuyog sila, nag-live-in or whatever, kasal sila. There's something wrong with their chromosomes. Okay? Because chromosomes need nucleic acid and protein. Meaning they are not eating too much of protein. Oh no, they are not intaking protein in a normal range or less protein without deficiency in protein. Okay? Nakaloka. Okay? Protein, gano'n siya. Okay? Thread-like structure or nucleic acid and protein. Okay? That have cell wall. Cell wall, imagine. So, you know the wall, right? You know the definition of the wall. If you have the house, you have the wall, right? That's it. Cell wall, very important because it is an enclosure to regulate the exit and the exit and entry of any individual. Then you must have an enclosure or a wall. So this is just a cell wall, not a house wall, but the function is just the same. Just like a house. So imagine the chromosome is very important in our body. Okay? And the protein will be there. Okay? Cell wall and have, di bang saya? And have distinct nucleus. Wow. Distinct nucleus. Nakakaloka. Okay? And ganun siya. And organized. Wow. Organized. Meaning in a proper order. Organized organelles. Wow. As we can remember, organelles is the specialized and organized structure of living organisms. So, ang organelles, dito gid siya sa wall, sa cell wall, sa nucleus, in a distinct nucleus. Wow. And there's a lot of nucleic acids there and protein, maglingon-lingon sila dito, so that they can make our chromosomes healthy. Something like that, in which it will be in our system. Okay? Ganun siya. Now we have 46 chromosomes in our body. If you remember biology, right? 46 chromosomes. Okay? So if the question in the future will say, how many chromosomes that an individual cell have? Imagine that's only a cell, not human being. Only single cell of a human body. Okay? Or every cell of a human body composed of 36 chromosomes. Okay, it's not saying the person has 46 chromosomes. It's not. Every single cell of an individual composed of 46 chromosomes and 23 pairs of chromosomes. 23 times 2 is equal to 40. This also a little bit of mathematics here, but very basic. Okay, elementary math. So 23 pairs times 2 is equal to 46 chromosomes. Okay? So, we should stabilizing this by taking enough level of nucleic acid and protein in the nucleus and in our organelles, like that. Get the point? Okay. Now we need 46 chromosomes, 23 pairs. Okay guys, there's a lot of orientation for that, just like the orientation of, for example, an organic compound, cis orientation, para orientation, trans orientation, like that. Remember that one? Then after that, we can determine if it is a saturated fats, trans fats, and saturated and unsaturated. Ganon. Kasi sa siya nasa 23 ka pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23. Now, okay, the last pair, be careful, maybe this will come up in examination. The last pair will be your 6 chromosome, sex chromosome, SEX. That would determine the gender of individual, if it is a male or female. You get the point? Okay, this 23 pair. So from 1 to 22 pairs of chromosome, that is our autosomes. Okay, autosomes. Okay, from 1 to 22 pairs, that is necessary for our cells, or the membranes of our organs inside our body, okay, or other parts of our body. But for the 23, really guys, is specific for sex chromosomes. Okay, like that. We have 22 pairs of chromosomes, 1 to 22. Ano akong di pag-grade na, hindi ako masaguan mga forma because I'm not a biologist. Okay, so 22 pairs of chromosomes. This is pair. There are 22 pairs of chromosomes. Okay, in each cell, in each individual cell, imagine. Okay, and then this 23 pairs of chromosomes is called sex chromosome. Okay. So basically, if the question will ask, what are the two categories? What are the 2 categories of chromosomes? Or what are the 2 classifications of chromosomes? Your answer will be autosomes and sex chromosomes. Okay, and then how many pairs of chromosomes in the autosomes? Your answer will be 22. How many pairs of chromosomes in the sex chromosomes? You will be answer also is 1 pair. Okay, so how many total chromosomes? I'm not talking about pair. How many total of chromosomes? You said 46. And how many pair of chromosomes in each cell? 23. Gagawin na siya kayo. Ituyok na sa question. Okay, sa science question, especially the biology. Okay, ganon. So, now, okay, we have the female sex hormone. Okay, is the estrogen. Okay, estrogen. Okay, estrogen. And the male sex organ or hormone, is reproductory system. Male is the testosterone. Okay? Testosterone. Ganon. This estrogen and testosterone will combine with each other to stabilize the chromosomes. Okay? And then it will yield, for example, a male, okay, baby or infant in the uterus of the woman. For example, assuming na grow na siya dito sa uterus, sa ovary, something like that. So, male will have 2X chromosomes. Okay? Remember this one. Because chromosomes can be identified for only X and Y. There's no Z. This is not a 3D motion that we have the X axis, the Y axis, and the Z axis in an animation in the computer. Okay, this is not a 3D. Okay, this only X, Y only. Just like in simple algebra, X and Y axis. Ganon. Okay, so 2X chromosomes become a male. Okay? So basically, only two requirements. One, 2X chromosomes. There's no Y if your baby is a boy. You get the point? If your baby is a female, there is 1X chromosome and 1Y chromosome. Okay? Basically, different. The X and Y kung babae and dua ka X chromosome kung lalaki. That's the reason why we need to check the DNA test if the children coming from yours, because it is in the chromosomes, the 23 pair, the sex chromosome. So you need to determine the DNA. Why? Because DNA is a deoxyribonucleic acid. So 9 nucleic acid, right? Sa definition sa chromosome. Again, thread-like structure, nucleic acid. See? So DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay? Na-assure nucleic acid. That's why we identify that here. So we get a sample by, a semen or a sperm cell, or it could be a blood sometimes. Okay, and determine the DNA test for that if the children belongs to you, something like that. Okay, and it will be agreeing by the father, as the owner of the baby, something like, because of the chromosomes issue through the DNA determination, the DNA test. Something like that. So we can say literally that DNA is more on that carries the genetic information. Okay, and this genetic information, it should be coded properly so that our chromosomes that contains nucleic acid will be stabilized. Something like that. And the pairing will be stabilized here so that we can determine, ganon. Okay. Being shall we say, 50-50, being homosexual or being the other one is tomboy or bio is only a sexual orientation. Okay, it's not a gender. You get the point? That is not based on science. That's on a sexual preference through the culture and the lifestyle when he or she grows up in the environment. It's not really coming from the uterus. Okay, because the chromosomes is only like this too. It only changes the sexual orientation and sexual preference as he or she grow up in the community. When he watch, TV, radio, he watch other people. Sometimes he need to emulate and imitate the actions. That's why he is in between. She is in between. She can act as a boy, she can act as a girl. Because of the people around him or her, he can imitate both. She can imitate both. But that is not a gender. Okay? That's not a biological gender. That's only sexual orientation and sexual preference. You get the point? To become a gay, to become homosexual, or in between. Something like that. But because boy and girl are always heterosexual, means straight. Okay? Male and female only. Okay? Get the point? In science, explanation in science. But if talking about other thing, it's not accepted here because I'm talking about science, okay? Biological health science magugta. Okay, ganun na ito po. So you know that? You know already what chromosomes really is, right? O ganon. Nakakaloka. Okay. So mana siya ang chromosomes. Now, para masagtan ko na ito guys, di ba naman tayo cells? Okay, now, we have chronic diseases. And a lot, I don't have to mention, for example, cardiovascular diseases, or cancer of the liver, cirrhosis, like that, okay, or whatever. Cancer of the brain, oh my gosh, sepsis, or whatever, a lot. Tuberculosis, cancer of the lungs, something like that, okay. Cerebral infarction, oh my gosh, stroke in the brain, something like that, okay. Heart attack, myocardial infarction, okay. Now, type 2 diabetes, over glucose or blood glucose in your blood. Sugar, too much glucose. So there are a lot of diseases that triggers chronic diseases. Now we need to focus on our cells. Okay? Because these cells builds up our organs. Okay? Because they regulate the coming in and the coming out of different substances in the cell wall or the cell membrane, in the inner layer and the outer layer of our organs, in the anatomy inside our body. Okay, they reject if they don't like, they accept if needed, but sometimes they cannot control also because of overconsumption. That's the dangerous part. Okay, for example, if you eat too much rice, like that every day, dili alatul, whatever, okay, bandihado, so it's not easy for our liver to digest the fats. The fat contents in the liver immediately, right? Because too much glucose. Okay, something like that. So we need to maintain the level of our sugar less than 140 milligrams per deciliter. Okay, technically, like that. Okay, so cells. We need to avoid diseases or prevent diseases. This is epidemiology, right? So the prevention and controls of diseases, right? Okay, now we need to understand the word cancer. Okay. Okay. Cancer is a bad word or a negative effect word that describes a cell. Okay, so we need to say this cancer means abnormal. Again, synonyms in English. Abnormal. Okay. Destroyed. Okay. Dying. Okay. Like that. Malfunctioned, okay, like that, deteriorated, okay, like that, okay, inflamed, okay, like that, okay. So this describes the cells. So this is known as cancer cells, meaning to say abnormal cells, destroyed cells, dying cells, malfunctioned cells, deteriorated cells, in which we cannot control already because of overconsumption for the high toxins foods inside our body that our liver cannot filter it anymore, cannot detoxify it anymore, something like that. Or our gallbladder cannot regulate already the bile acids in the digestion of our fats before going to the digestive system and to be excreted as urine or sweat that coming out from the body, something like that. Okay, so ganun siya. So muna siya ang cancer. Okay, so ma-develop siya if our cells in our different organs are totally destroyed. So what to do? Again, it goes back with choosing the right kind of food, citrus fruit and green leafy vegetables, enough levels of carbohydrates, enough levels of proteins, like that, enough levels of vitamins A to, I think A to K. Okay, vitamin A, like that. Vitamin B is thiamine. Vitamin C is, I think it's going to be ascorbic acid. Okay, like that. We have also vitamin K. Okay, like that. Vitamin D. Okay, like that. Vitamin D. So that is for exposing yourself in the heat of the sun. That you can gain vitamin D. Okay, and vitamin C, citrus fruits, something like that. Okay, vitamin A, you can obtain that through eating vegetables like squash, carrots, rich in beta-carotene, something like that. Okay, or papaya, something that is orange or yellow-orange, rich in vitamin A or beta-carotene, something like that. Vitamin B is more on the milk. Okay, you can get that on the milk, in the meat. Okay, something like that we eat. Okay, that's vitamin B, thiamine. Okay, like that. And we have also other vitamin B1 complex, vitamin B2 complex, like that. There's a lot of vitamins. So these are the things. And these are all called nutrients. Okay, plus the minerals. Minerals are necessary to keep also our tissues and muscles and bones become stronger. For example, calcium maintain the bone and teeth health together with the phosphorus and the potassium to avoid osteoporosis, the weakening of our bones in our body. So this also will be helpful, eating the right kind of minerals in a normal range. So this will prevent the cancer cells, okay, to happen, and then you cannot have the chronic diseases in the near future, because chronic diseases driven by cancer cells will only resolve after long-term exposure to a long term. Let's say 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 8 years. It's not acute diseases that normally it will just be coming out immediately. Okay? It will be developed through your food lifestyles, something like that, your intake of alcoholic beverages, smoking, eating too much of, sugary food, the so-called white sugar, eating too much, carbohydrates, high carbs, and you cannot control it already, you become fat, you become obese, something like that. So it will just develop later pa siya. So enjoy lang muna, then later, it will having this when you reach 60 years old, 65 years old. That's why I'm telling always, prevention is better than cure in my discussion, right? Prevention is better than cure. Before I proceed to my discussion, health is wealth. Health is wealth, number 1. Number 2, prevention is better than cure. With that alone 2 statements, we can endure and extend our life in this planet Earth. Okay, no other thing. Money cannot help that. Okay? Science can help that, of course, health science. You get a point? Something like that. And to do exercise or physical activities, jogging, biking, cycling, going to work out is also an example of health science. You get the point? In order to avoid and prevent this is to come in to you in the near future. Something like that, okay? So these are cancer cells. This is already what's the cells, right? This is already what is cancer. And it's very clear. So we need to protect our cells really, guys. Okay, now, what are the other ways to protect the cells in our organs? Okay, aside from eating the kind of food, vitamins, minerals, exercise, like that. Okay, what else? Okay, basta kung nandiyo itong buhato yung higayon na. Okay. We should also take into consideration the primary, secondary metabolites. It's very important also. The ingredient of vaccine. Okay, so this is very important. This is antiviral. Okay, because virus or bacteria will trigger these cancer cells to activate, and you cannot control that in the future. So in order to prevent that, to avoid, then we need to do something, okay, to eat fruits that rich in polyphenols, because polyphenols usually contains primary metabolites. Sorry guys, sabi ko kung dila bisa ikon dako. Okay, primary metabolites. Okay, primary metabolites. Okay, manishin mga polyphenols. Kasi mga example ninyo guys, hingaon ka grapes, strawberry, like that, blueberries, mga anak siya guys. Okay, fruits gyapon siya. Okay, and then some of the green leafy vegetables, ito mga onion, garlic, ginger, apple cider, mga ganun ba? Okay, so muna yung i-practice para na kayo mga daghang primary metabolites. And I think also apple, both the red and the green apple, rich in primary metabolites or the polyphenols that could really fight this bad bacteria and viruses, something like this. Okay? Of course, together with your white blood cells, that's a normal function of our white blood cells or the leukocytes, is to really to fight infectious diseases to come in. Okay, muna yung functions of white blood cells. Okay, plus also the antibodies. You should have enough antibodies in your body. So a white protein structure that is antibody supports these white blood cells, plus this secondary metabolites, plus vitamins A to blah blah blah, plus minerals, plus nutrients, like that, plus exercise, then bingo, you will become healthy forever and ever. Amen. Unless you expose yourself intentionally to the dying person, to the persons that have diseases, contagious diseases or communicable diseases, then of course you will be you will receive also a disease someday. What I'm trying to say, you are far or isolated from those sickly people. So you don't have exposure to those contagious diseases, of course, normally. And under normal circumstances, if you follow this 6 steps to avoid and control infectious diseases, chronic diseases in the future. Ganon. So, ganun ka sa cells. Diba? Ganon. So, ato sa kuan, diba? Cell biology. Sometimes yun na to ang cell biology, right? Because we will not survive without the cells. And we should protect our cells. Okay? And then vitamin C is very essential also for that. Okay? Vitamin C for the healing of the wounds in our anatomy structure, to fight also infectious diseases. Mga sila guys, white blood cells, antigen, vitamin C, primary, actually and secondary metabolites also. Primary and secondary metabolites, but more dishes are primary metabolites, the components of vaccine. Okay? Like that. Muna siya yung mga ingredients sa vaccine. Okay? Like that. Okay. Now, we have the cell biology. Ganon. Okay. This is the cell. Okay, then there are layers here, 2 layers. Okay. Okay, our organs, guys, are composed of billions and trillions of cells. Okay, and in it composed of tissues and muscles, and then there are fluids there. Normally, the water, the acid, the oil, and the blood. Okay, you get the point? The acid, okay, the oil or the fat fluid substance, okay, the blood, like that, those are fluids and liquids, okay, instead of the E, okay, like that. So ganun siya, okay, so ganun siya. So this is our cell wall, okay, our cell wall. For example, if this is a liver, all the organs have the cell. This liver lang siya, example. Let's choose liver because liver has very important role in our body, detoxifying all the toxins and unwanted poisonous substances in our body should be expelled out from our system. Okay, so that we will not become sick. There will be no, coming disease in the future, cancer, whatever. So this is the cell wall. Okay. The cell wall, guys, is flexible, meaning open, open, close, open, close, open, close. Ganun. Okay, nakakaloka. And then, what comes out, are always the solid substances and the fluid substances or the liquid substances. Normally of 2 types. Ganun siya. Okay, guys? Nakakaloka, diba? Okay. Cell wall. Muna siya katong cell wall, o diba? Anong oras na? Charot! Nakakaloka. Okay, guys. Oh my gosh! Cell wall. And this is the wall, and this one is called cell membrane. You know what's the difference between the cell wall and the cell membrane? Actually, it has the same function to protect the integrity and the reliability and the flexibility of our cells against any, bad organisms that will come in, and unwanted liquids and food substances also that goes in, goes out in the cells. Something like that, okay. Now, cell wall only is an outer layer. The outer, that's a cell wall only. But a cell membrane composed of an outer layer plus the inner layer, or the outer wall or the wall plus the inner layer. That's the cell membrane. So duha ang i-consider sa cell membrane. But actually pareho ra siya. Okay? There's a slight difference only between cell wall and cell membrane. You get the point? Okay. So this is our cell membrane. Cell wall and cell membrane. Okay? Like this. Now, for example, if the other organs cannot control anymore, other toxic substances will leak, okay, to other organs, especially the liver problem also, right? So be careful. So that's why you need also to choose the kind of food you eat. This is an issue of your gut or colon, C-O-L-O-N. Because the colon, if it will leak, it will go to the other parts, the liver, the pancreas, and it will also become wounded. You get the point? Because, you know, this cell wall can, this is very, you know, like flexible. It will slippery. It will be cut immediately if sharp will be going there. Sharp objects or foreign material will touch the cell wall. Okay? So be careful also. So, for example, you will eat only foods that are very manageable to digest. Or easy to, you know, to digest. For example, kanang mga humukon. Okay? If you love to eat crab, lobster, kanang mga skin, please digest it carefully because maluitaw mo sa inyong colon or small and large intestine if you will not digest it carefully before swallowing. You get the point? It will really develop colon cancer in the future. Get the point? That's why they said colon cancer is the disease for rich people. Because rich people normally eat this expensive food like lobster, prawn, shrimp, like that. And this is very expensive, right? The seafoods, in which a normal citizen cannot afford unless they have too much money after salary. But normally and regularly, we don't choose that kind of food because it's very expensive. Get the point? Sometimes the squid also are very expensive, right? The crab. Okay, so it's very, 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 very hard, okay, to swallow, to digest before swallowing. Okay, be careful because that will attack our colon in our digestive tract. Okay, the small intestine and the large intestine because the rule that is the digestion process kasi okay, ganun-ganun. So, masamad siya, yayay. Okay, so be careful we should digest carefully when we eat food, especially in a party. When you go to a party, guys, if lechon ganit, magdadili tagtun. You get the point? We don't digest anymore. Di na to usapon pagayo because lami kay siya. Okay, so daghano na to kaon na to bahawan, ganon. Because also me also experienced that one. Okay, if lami jud kay pagkaon, di ba di kita mo digest, di na to kay usapon mo na siya. Okay, we should digest very well. Especially the skin of the pig, so, or any skin of the animal also very, you know, very hard. With lechon, right? Kanang dahil kay yung kuan tipaka, charot tipaka. Okay, so hait man na siya good. Basta kanang egg cover, the shell of an egg. Okay, when you do the, you know, cooking the egg, please remove the, you know, the hard skin, the white color, the shell. Because it will also go to your digestive. It will become wounded in the future. Though not immediate, it will be in the future pa. Okay, just like the late, you know, Rio Diaz, a celebrity in the Philippines, died in colon cancer. Okay, something like that. Just because of the food, always expensive food, too much hard skin food. Okay, now going back to the cell biology. Cell biology. So this is the cell membrane, and this one, guys, is called the, you know, nakakaloka. This one is the plasma lemma. Wow. My gosh, I hate drugs. Plasma lemma. This is a biological term. Be careful, memorize if you want to. Okay, if you are a high school student, if you want to become a BS biology or biologist, then take up BS biology, or you have to proceed doctor. Medicine or any type, then have your preparatory course BS biology. Okay, this is study of life. Okay, so plasma lemma. Now we have the nucleus here. Oh, ganan. Nucleus, nakakaloka ang nucleus. Okay, muna siya. So muna siya ang nucleus. Okay, so ganito nucleus, the smallest functional or structural unit of a living organism. Okay, something like that. Okay, so nucleus. Then the real center of that nucleus is also called the nucleus. Okay, actually this is very technical, guys. Okay, nucleus. Nucleus. If you have the nucleus, we have also the nucleus. But in chemistry, it's a bit different, because the nucleus is composed of a tiny particles composed of proton and neutron inside and electrons in the outermost shell. And we have the most center there is the nucleons, not the nucleus. But in here in the biology, is nucleus in the human being. Okay, you get the point? Kato particle mo to siya, elementary particle or substance. Here, ano man siya sa mga anatomy structure inside our body. So there's a difference, but the term also is the same. Nucleus, ganan. Okay, this only a little bit of, for the description difference. Okay. Now in here, guys, there's a skin here. Let's say 3 skin here. This is called the endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum. Okay. Just correct me, guys. Disclaimer, I'm not a biologist. I'm a chemical engineer. Endoplasmic, okay, reticulum, something like that. Is it correct? Okay, kaloka, diba? And then, kani siya nga white, guys, as I mentioned before, this is the platform, kani nga white spacious, this is a platform for our organelles to operate. Organelles are specialized and organized living organisms. It's in here that they will try to play, to dance, to work with their normal function or whatever, chuchu. Okay? In this, this is cytoplasm. Okay? So meaning this is fluid-like. Okay? Meaning fluidity. Have a fluidity. Meaning, kuan slippery siya. Okay? Ganon. Okay? So fluid-like gel. Just like a gel. If you buy, the kanang mga gel na food, right? Sa mga bata, right? Jelly, food, tamis kayo siya, mga yellow, green, blue. So just like that also in a cytoplasm. And then, it is a medium for chemical reaction. How important really is our cytoplasm inside our cells, in our organs, right? Oh my gosh. This is cytoplasm. Okay. Now we have also, the vacuole. Nakakaloka. Vacuole. Vacuole or vacuole? Just like a banana here. Like this. But there's no substance inside vacuole. This one. Okay? V-A-C-U-O-L-E. And we have also the lysosome. Here. Lysosome. Ganon, chupa-chuchu. But there's like a dot here. Like the ganon. These are the lysosome. This isn't really exact, only the illustration inside. If we try to analyze that in the laboratory, like that, blah, 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 so and so, you can see in the microscope through using the, for example, spectrophotometry, spectrophotometer, there's a light, and then it will, it will give the light there, and you can see in the screen, in the computer, and give the data. Oh, there are 10 milligrams of cytoplasm. Okay? So, lysosome. Okay, guys? Okay, wala siya. And then, we have also this is very important, guys. We will dive out this one. What's this? Like this is an oblong like that. This is the mitochondria. Okay, the mitochondria is very important, guys, because this is really generate most of the chemical energy or the chemical reaction like that power or gives strength, okay, of our biochemical reactions inside our body, in which the lipid, macromolecules again, lipid, sugar, carbohydrates, nucleic acid, like that, okay, protein, amino acids, plus the nutrients and the vitamins we take in, or supplements for any. All about biochemical substances, the chemical reactions would take place. Responsible for that is the mitochondria or the mitochondrion. Mitochondrion is the singular. There is only one, that is mitochondria. If so many mitochondrions, that is mitochondria, the plural of mitochondrion. Okay? So daghan ako dito. 1, 2. So that means mitochondria. Not only mitochondria. You get the point? It's very clear, right? The powerhouse of the cell. If the question in the future, blank is the powerhouse of the cell, your answer will be mitochondrion or mitochondria. Actually, it's just the same. Okay? Like that. So sometimes it will come out in the examination if you're loving to watch, Battle of the Brains, quiz goals. Because when I was a child, I really loved to watch those kind of competition. And also in high school, something like, but it was disappeared. That was in RPA 9, like hosted by the Vidsel Run, Battle of the Brains, for example, in the compete the college level, high school level, elementary level, nationwide. And there will be also semifinals, grand finals, like that. I really enjoy to watch that. You really learn a lot for that, guys. Some of my, discussion here are taken for that also. Okay, for example, the scientific name of the sun is Proxima Centauri. Ganun siya. Okay? So, Albert Einstein discovered the theory of relativity, something like that. Okay? So, some are gained through watching and listening those kind of TV programs. You can learn a lot through academic information. Okay? Something like that. Now, muna ni siya atong mitochondrial. So, mitochondria, sorry. Now, there's still another one. Important also, guys, because specific protein synthesis will be happening here. So, this is the ribosomes. This one. Oh my gosh, without protein, we will die, right? To help protect ourselves. Okay? Then if our ribosomes are very weak, they cannot synthesize any more the protein, then also we will become weak, right? We should take care of our ribosomes. Okay? Like this ribosomes. Okay? Protein synthesis. It's here in the ribosomes. Ganon. The process is called translation. Okay? Translation. Okay, why translation? Okay, later I'll be discussing that also. Okay? So this is the ribosomes, ha? Okay. Muna na siya. Then, after that, you will memorize now the parts of a cell. Number 1, cell wall, cell membrane, cytoplasm, plasmalemma, vacuole, lysosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, nucleus, ribosomes, mitochondria, like that, vacuole. So, how many na? A lot na. So, if the question in the near future will say, enumerate and list the different parts of a cell, so you can answer already. Okay? Di na kamunganga. Okay, like that. So, that is the cell biology. And this is really important also to have an idea what's going on inside our body. Especially the anatomy structures of our body. Okay, ganon. Now, tara, nakakaloka. Let's review now protein. Because I said a while about protein synthesis, right? It's very important in the ribosomes. Okay, actually. But before going that, let's explain a little bit of prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. What's the difference? And is human being belong to the prokaryotic cell or the eukaryotic cell? Ganun siya. Okay? So, 2 types of cell. Okay? Tanawa ang board, guys. Ang prokaryotes and the eukaryotes. Okay? 2 types of cell. Ganon. 2 types of cells. The prokaryote, okay, prokaryote, and the eukaryote. Charot. O, diba? Okay. Eukaryote. Okay. Like this. Okay. So, what is carry? What is the meaning of carry in Greek? So, you have to take that also this carry. So, usually referring to a cell. Greek word. So carry. That's why these are the 2 types of a cell. Pro before. Okay, that is prokaryotic cell. You mean EU is also a Greek term, I think so. I'm not so sure. Okay, it's about good. Okay, good. Okay, good cell. Like that. So which of the following living organism has a good cell? So basically the kingdom Mammalia. Kingdom Mammalia or the phylum Mammalia is the human being, the first class animal, the human being. So, we are eukaryote. We are not prokaryote. So inside our body are all eukaryotic cells. Okay? Like that. So focus sa eukaryotic cells or eukaryotes. If you speak prokaryotes, that's mean eukaryotic cell. Okay, shortcut mo na siya bukas sa kapis. Ha? Okay, like that. Now we need to know what is the definition of a prokaryotes. Okay, sabi ng mga prokaryotes. Okay, so these are really the living organisms which don't have cell walls. Okay, don't have cell walls, and then there's no distinct nucleus, organelles like that, blah, blah, so and so. Okay, like that, ganon. Sumuna siya ang atong prokaryotes. The reverse will hold true. Those cells that have distinct nucleus, organelles like that, and cell membrane. Okay, wala naman naman tulo. Nucleus, organelles, and cell membrane. If don't have like that, that is a prokaryote. If have like that, that is eukaryote cells. So normally, if you have cancer, our eukaryotic cells are in trouble, not the prokaryotic cells. Okay, that's the point. I think prokaryotic cells are only in the plants. I'm not really sure, I'm not a biologist. Okay. Like that, okay? Something like tabo. Okay. Now, we go to the, the prokaryotes. Prokaryotes, guys, consist of, okay. Composed of bacteria. Okay. Bacteria and Archaea. You are familiar with the bacteria, right? Okay, bacteria is not only causing disease, it's also protecting us against infectious disease. Those bacteria protecting us against infectious disease are called good bacteria. So basically we have the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. Okay, so what are the function of the bad bacteria? Or what is the definition? If we mean bacteria, guys, normally we refer that as a bad bacteria already. Okay, by general impact or general understood. Okay, just like cholesterol, ganun siya, di ba? Just like metabolism. Since we know there are two types of metabolism, the catabolism and the anabolism, we mix up that as only metabolism, not specific. Okay, because when we do exercise, that is catabolism, not anabolism. But catabolism and anabolism are all metabolism. Just like this also. Bacteria, two types, good bacteria and bad bacteria. If we mean bad bacteria, that is already bacteria as what everybody understands. But technically, it is inappropriate because that is not correct in science point of view. We should be specific, actually. But not everybody are science-minded. That's why we accept that fact. Okay, that if we mean bacteria, that's automatically bad. We don't consider the good. Okay? What else? Another example to this, cholesterol also. Good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, but the same cholesterol. But the doctor are really trying to specify that that is only the bad cholesterol, not the high density cholesterol. Or the good cholesterol is very good to our health. Okay? High density lipoprotein. But the low density lipoprotein is the bad cholesterol, is the bad for the health. But both are cholesterol. Okay? You got the point? So we need to be specific sometimes. We need to deal the technicalities of the information. Okay, so that we will not be confusing others in the future. Whatever, ganon. Okay? Bacteria, good bacteria, and bacteria. What is this? Okay, this is a large group of unicellular microorganisms. Okay, large group siya. Large group of unicellular microorganisms. Group po siya, but each organism unicellular, only one cell. Okay, group. Okay. Normally, they can cause diseases. So, we need to say here, bad bacteria causing diseases. And this contains cell wall. Okay, like that, blah, 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 so and so. Okay, no distinct cell wall. Kaya ito ganina, Diba? Kaya ang prokaryote, ingon man kalaba, no distinct nucleus, okay, no organelles, and then no cell membrane. Since this is an example of prokaryote, imo lang isumpot ang definition so that during memorization, dili ka makalimot. Okay, ganun na. Okay, so large group of unicellular microorganisms, okay, that causes infection, which is the bad bacteria that has no distinct nucleus, organelles, and cell membrane. Muna siya yung bacteria. Now, what is Archaea? So, Archaea, single cell microorganism. Okay, single cell microorganism of any kind. Okay, but not necessarily large group. Okay, you get the point? So, muna yung difference sa Archaea. Okay, Archaea, it doesn't specify that it's a bad. Okay, but bacteria classify most of the times as bad. Okay, so these are examples of prokaryotes. Okay, now we need to deal with the in between before going to the eukaryotes. Neither prokaryote, neither eukaryote, something like that. What is that? This is very more important, and the whole world is celebrating to this. What kind of living organism is this? Again, what kind of living microorganism that is neither not a prokaryotic cell and not also a eukaryotic cell is in between? So this is virus. Okay, this is in between, virus. Okay, not a prokaryotic cell, not also a eukaryotic cell, it's in between. You get the point? And this is an infective agent. Imagine, infective agent. So, it will bring infections if it will come to the host. Okay? If it will come to the living cells of the host. Host meaning a plant, animal, or any living organism that this virus will come to. Okay? Muna siya host or receiver. Okay? Like that. So, virus is not a eukaryote, not a prokaryote also, but an infective agent. Okay, infective agent, hala. Take note, that contains, hala, nucleic acid. Imagine, nucleic acid molecule. So, meaning, if you eat also food that will synthesize into nucleic acid, the more this virus also will attract inside your body because these are the component of virus. You get the point? So, this is part of the cycle of human being talaga siya. Okay? That's why prevention is better than cure. So, it's not really, there's no good virus. It's always bad. Because of the definition alone. Infective agent. Okay? That contains nucleic acid. Then, how can this virus obtain this nucleic acid? They will destroy, again, the cell. And then they will get the nucleic acid there. You get the point? That's why in the definition, there's a nucleic acid in their survival. You get the point? Molecule, a protein coated with protein. Okay? Like that. Okay? That is very, very small. Can be seen in the microscope. Okay, you cannot see that in our naked eye. Tiny, tiny, tiny reversible particles. Okay, causing infection. Okay, or causing diseases. Okay, so like this. So basically, we should eliminate this as N0 because there's no bad. There's no good. All are bad. You get the point? If this will eat in all your cells, we will become weak and eventually we will die if we don't have those food I mentioned a while ago. Okay, vitamin C, vitamin B, nutrients, like this, blah, 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 so and so. Already discussed, right? And everything. So that's our defense mechanism to this. Okay, part gini siya sa cycle because this is under either prokaryote or eukaryote. This is part also of living microorganism. This is it, pansit. Because he is also a part or she is also a part of the living microorganism. We cannot deny this really will go into our system if we don't take care of our health. Okay, like that. So the outlet for this, based on my research, is the term free radicals. Free radicals inside our body, right? We need vitamin C, right? Polyphenols, blah blah blah, so and so, and then we need also the vitamins and nutrients like that. Okay, these free radicals, guys, are the outlet of this one. Yun lang ako mention. Okay, this one to stay and to attract there. If there's no free radicals inside our body, then there's no outlet for them to stay in our respiratory system for the very, very first time. This V. Okay? So like that. So how can we improve our radicals? Radicals meaning talking of stability of the oxygen molecules. Stability. You know why, guys, we drink water every day? There's an oxygen molecule. We take sugar every day. There's also oxygen molecule. And most of the protein have also oxygen molecule. Most of the acids have oxygen molecule. All of the oils have oxygen molecule. We are overloaded with oxygen inside our body. Plus the oxygen we inhale in the environment. Okay. There's no question about that. The more oxygen, the more good. Okay. But the problem is the other components of that organic, the carbon, the nitrogen, the sulfur, like as the chuns component of a protein, something like that. Okay, that would be a great factor to increase any cardiovascular diseases or any chronic disease in the future. Oxygen, no problem, is very good. Okay, we need it. Okay, but the problem is, okay, this V, okay, will eat this free radical. Okay, and then this free radical will keep on increasing inside our body. Okay, so he will destroy other organs in our body that has an oxygen content. Okay, so this free radical destroy the cells. After destroying it, there's a lot of free radical anymore already in your body. So there's a lot of outlet for this virus to come in or to penetrate in your respiratory lungs. That's why makuan jud ka aning kuan COVID-19. Okay, due to poor or weak immune system attributed to no enough nutrients, vitamins, minerals, polyphenols, antibodies, white blood cells, exercise, eating the right kind of food, citrus fruits and drinks, vitamin C, vitamin, everything, you are lack of that. Okay, because the more you're lacking of this vitamin C, all like that, the more the free radicals will increase, something like that. So our cells will be damaging. Okay, will be destroyed. Now, after 1 year, after 2 years, or 6 months, or whatever, you will develop a cancer cells. Okay, your cell functions will become abnormal and it will be destroyed already. So that's the time disease come in. Okay, liver cirrhosis, damage of kidney malfunction, tuberculosis, stroke, heart attack, diabetes, like that. Okay, everything. Leukemia. Okay, the leukemia also is more on the white blood cells. The white blood cells eat the red blood cells. There's no balance of the iron content in the RBC, red blood cells, or the hemoglobin. So that's also the problem, leukemia. Okay, the over level of your white blood cells. The function of the white blood cells is to prevent bad microorganisms and infectious diseases. If you have also more than that, then it will also get the red blood cells. Okay, then our red blood cells will become also small. Because puro na lang fight sa bacteria. Wala na yung habili na mga red. Kaon niya, so leukemia sad. Okay, so always balance. That's why we have normal range sa blood chuva-chuchu. Okay, ganon. Okay, blood pressure, sugar, mga directly related to each other. Ganon. So, virus is an effective agent that contains nucleic acid, a protein coat that is very small or very, very small that can be seen in only microscope that can cause diseases. Okay. And the third, in between siya, if you try to compare that as a human being, this virus is homosexual or biot or tumboy. Na siya sa tunga-tunga. Dili siya prokaryote, di siya eukaryote. You get the point? So, very really abnormal. Okay, that's why he can or she can easily mutate under the process of mutation. Meaning, she can replicate to other like that and causing another strain, another virus strain to produce another also type of virus. Because this type of virus will really multiply 1 billion or 1 trillion of times easily as quick as it is. So, grabe ni siya ka-active, this letter V. Because naman siya yung mga nucleic acid, a protein coat. Nasaan siya bala sa iyong kagalingon. Okay, na yung gikaunan niya sa atong mga organs or whatever, muna siya natabo. Okay? So, that's why we should build up our immune system very well. Like that. Not only that, we should not also take for granted for natural way of preventing it. Also, we need to do the external way of doing it. For example, taking a bath twice a day. You know the point? Like that. Especially the bacteria, I told you, right? Bacteria is a large group of spores-producing organisms. Spores meaning a hole of the skin. Ato siya musod ang mga bacteria, ganon. Okay, so if you will not take a bath every day, at least 2 times, or wash your hands, wash your feet, then they will penetrate into your pores. Okay, mga bangag sa imong skin, sa epidermis, like that, sa imong dunggan, sa imong ilong, sa imong bakbak, sa imong mata. So they will easily penetrate there. Okay, then the bad bacteria will increase, and then the good bacteria will meet inside. So mag-appear sila, ganon. So mag-away sila kay good bacteria man siya. Right? Ganon. But take note, the letter V has no good. All are bad. What if it goes to your body, inside your body, problem? For the very, very first time in your respiratory. Okay? Then if you don't drink lemon juice every time, then problem. Because rich in, vitamin C, ascorbic acid. Okay? And the acidity is a powerful control. It can kill this letter V to die for the very, very first time if this letter V will accumulate in your respiratory tract, which is the lung. Okay, Lung. Ganon. And then we have the eukaryotes. Okay. Okay. Pero I always say that brain cells, I love the brain cells really. Okay. So it's more good to say brain cells. It's more enjoyable. It talks on the mind, right? Okay, the mental strength of any individual. Charot. Hello, ka? Laoy mo kaon ako og yogurt. Wow. Okay, eukaryotes is the reverse of prokaryotes. Okay, these are living organisms that have a distinct nucleus, organelles, ganon, and a cell membrane. Just like a human being. Okay? So, bilong ta sa eukaryotes. Now, we go back to the, to the protein synthesis. Necessary kayo siya na i-control sa atong cells, cell wall and cell membrane, this biological substance. We need to discuss also the macromolecules, specifically the protein synthesis. And now, we go back to the definition of protein. What is a protein? Okay, as we said, this protein might be good, might be bad of over consumption and dosage into your body, especially the bilirubin and the creatinine and the purine. You know, purine is a protein that will be decomposed like that in the production of uric acid that can cause arthritis and gout, G-O-U-T, and also can malfunction your kidney. If you keep on eating oily foods, fried foods, especially katong mga fried na kaisya, mga red meat, mga what else, mga pasayan, shrimp, okay, like that, mga kinilaw, whatever, it will increase your uric acid, something like that. And be careful, it can damage your kidney. Okay, if you have a high value of creatinine, which is 4 atoms of carbon, 7 atoms of hydrogen, ganon-ganon, nitrogen 3 atoms, and oxygen 1 atom. Problem of the creatinine, okay, like that. And the purine, 4 atoms of carbon, blah, 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 so and so, H5 and 4 like that, and O3 for the purine. Purine is the dangerous one, not necessarily the uric acid. Since the purine will produce uric acid and vice versa, the uric acid will decompose to purine, so that's the problem. So the best way to troubleshoot is to distinguish what are the kinds of foods and drinks that contains less purine. Okay? But how can you do that if you don't have knowledge? So, okay, we again go back to red science and health information. Okay, like that, blah, 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 so and so. Kato kung pang-ingon yung nga food, mo na to siya. Including kung sa kanang mga ako ang ginagay siya, battery, B-U-T-T-E-R, mga ganon, mga cheesy, C-H-E-E-S-E, loaded with C-H-E, cheese. Something like that. It can also triggers your purine level goes high and then will be producing uric acid. Okay? Or uric acid, sorry. Uric acid from purine. Okay? Purine is a white crystalline solid substance. Okay? Like that. Get the point? Ganun siya. And then ang creatinine po guys, the same siya sa uric. But there's a lot of other foods. Be careful to you for that. For example, eating too much of beef, like that, pig, pork. Diba? Pork na siya. P-O-R-K, right? Like that. Same story, guys. Fried chicken, buttered chicken, French fries, microwave popcorn, pizza pie, cheeseburger, hamburger, like that. Okay, baked goods, cookies. Okay. Actually, this is a good food, but an over range only. Okay, beyond the normal range, what I'm trying to say. So, you know, again, your uric acid must be 4 to 8.5 milligrams per deciliter. Okay? And then your creatinine must be less than 5 milligrams per deciliter. And the most dangerous is the bilirubin. Really, guys, because bilirubin protein found in the bloodstream. And then it can be detected when you urine. Because it will leak to your urine and to your blood will become yellowish. Muna giawasan sa abdo, mga ganun na siya bilirubin. Okay, and your skin will become yellowish and your face will become, your eyes yellowish. So you will develop a symptom called jaundice. G-A-U-N-D-I-C-E. Okay, taas yung bilirubin. So, ang i-maintain nga bilirubin, guys, is 0.3 milligrams per deciliter to 1.2. Imagine, very small only, but that is dangerous already. So, 1.2 milligrams per deciliter. Bilirubin, delikado po di siya. Protein siya when our red blood cells will be decomposed in the bloodstream. Something like that, okay? It will be tested by the examination, during medical examination, bilirubin, creatinine, along with blood pressure, sugar level, cholesterol, ganun-ganun siya. Basta makita ninyo sa results in your examination, physical examination results, medical examinations. Okay, ganon. So, at least we know now the formula, ganon, mga symptoms, whatever. Okay, now we go back to this one, protein synthesis. Okay, ganon. Guys, I read also that, you know, mungus baka ng, ano sabi English ng mungus? Uy, mungus have the same nutritional value with protein, meat. Even though you not eat the pork, still have the same value if you eat only mungus. Okay, but it doesn't contain fats. You get the point? So still the same level of protein, but there's no fat in that because that is linoleic acid or unsaturated fats, good for the health. Rather than eating the pork with the same level of protein level, but then it has fat content. Something like dangerous for the health. So I would rather eat mungus. But the mungus is not good to the taste also. Di man siya lamig good sa atong dila. Okay, so how can I eat this mungus? But let me educate you guys really if init pa ang mungus. In fairness. Okay? Mujili siya badali-dali sa mga mga pubri. Just like us, mungus lang medyo kayo sa init. Okay? Ganon. Okay, protein synthesis. Napakaluka. Okay, thank you so much. The third segment will be after this one. Thank you so much for watching this live streaming. You can comment down below in the comment section. And you can subscribe also my YT channel as you like. If you wish or whatever, you have the full freedom to do so. And then you can click the notification bell for some news updates. I'm here, Channel Voice. Bye-bye, God bless everybody. Ganon. Kaloka.